Good evening. Thank you for joining us. At the top at 6, 2 deaths this weekend on the Texas coast. Strong currents likely the cause.
Dangerous swim and surf conditions continue at South Padre Island today. That's where we find Cecilia Gutierrez. Cecilia, what's causing these conditions?
Well, Dina, check this out. Check out how windy it is. This is what's causing those conditions. Strong southeasterly winds are keeping the surf choppy this evening. Now, if you can believe it, these wind speeds have died down a little bit today, but you can see those waves still roaring behind me. And these winds, well, they don't help with the rip current situation. But here at South Padre Island, rip currents aren't the only dangerous current swimmers need to worry about. The ocean's deadliest trick: rip currents, and they're keeping beachgoers on edge.
Oh yeah, just keeping an eye on them, not letting them go out too far.
Robert Farias heard about the 2 drownings up the Texas coast this weekend. The cause is believed to be rip currents. Farias knows rip currents aren't the only dangerous current people need to be worried about.
Yeah, you get drugged down the beach real quick. We do a lot of shark fishing and we'll swim out the bait sometimes, and by the time you get out there, you're, half a mile down.
Farias is talking about a longshore current. South Padre Island is the only place in Texas with this double whammy, and it's all because of our geological and atmospheric setup.
We have the Sierra Madre Mountains to the west, and we have the Gulf of Mexico to the east. And the wind flow that we see here in the valley, we call it the valley wind machine, is from the south or southeast to the north.
When you get a strong atmospheric system that causes severe weather and it stays north, the southeasterly flow gets stronger, causing a pressure gradient, or windy conditions over land and sea. This red flag is the indicator of those winds.
And when it flows over the water, the direction of the swell and the waves is from the southeast, and it runs up against the shoreline and has no choice but to turn north, or what we call south to north longshore.
Think of it this way: instead of the water pulling you out to sea like a rip current does, a longshore current pulls you up the beach. Because of the shape of the surf zone, which is the sandbars, there can be many rips that will take you out and then back in. Sometimes you end up a couple miles north where you initially started swimming. Jetties are also a problem for these dangerous currents. And the place you're going to find the strongest rip currents here on South Padre Island is right here on either side by the jetties. A rip current is a fast-moving channel of water moving away from the shoreline. Goldsmith says the biggest dangers come when the water is inviting. And experts say if you're not a strong or experienced swimmer, when the water's like this is as far deep as you need to go, thigh to knee deep. And you know what? I can already feel a pull, so I'm not going to go any further. In fact, I'm going to start to come in. He says whether it's a longshore or rip current, one message stays true: stay close and don't panic.
If you try to swim towards the current, it's the same message we give on a regular rip current. It says don't swim towards it, you're going to tire out.
If you find yourself in a rip current, swim parallel to the shore. If you find yourself being pulled north up the beach, try to stay stationary or find when the current lets up and start swimming diagonally toward the shore. And rip currents are hard to spot from the shore. If you have a question on where to find a safe place to swim, ask a lifeguard. And Goldsmith says you should always swim where a lifeguard is nearby. At South Padre Island, Cecilia Gutierrez, Channel 5 News at 6.